Why is the magnetizing or attracting power of Amitabha Buddha and the Lotus family so alluring? Why is Amitabha so popular in all lineages and schools of Mahayana Buddhism? Why is Amitabha's western Pure Land of Sukhavati called the Happy Realm? And how easy is it to attain this paradise? Why is Amitabha called both infinite light and infinite life?
We answer these questions and more in this in-depth presentation and end with his Dharani, mantras and unique sadhana called Brief Amitabha Sleeping Practice by Jamyang Khyentse Choki Lodro to help you connect directly to this compassionate and powerful Buddha of the 48 vows. We tell the story of these 48 vows later in this presentation, the story of Amitabha as Bodhisattva Dharmakara from Sutra. Before we begin, please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Amitabha is the magnetic savior Buddha. He helps with his charismatic bliss and joy and his wisdom of discernment to overcome the poisons of attachment and desire. It is our constant attachment to things and objects and money and ownership and ego that causes suffering in samsara. With discernment wisdom, the wisdom of Amitabha's Lotus family, we overcome our obsessive clinging to things and ego.
His practice is the magnetizing power of the Buddhas, signified by his body made of red glowing light, like a beautiful glowing sunset. Red is the color of magnetizing, the color of fire and the setting sun of the west, all of which are symbols of Amitabha. Orgyen Topgyal Rinpoche explained in a teaching on Red Amitabha's Lotus family.
The manifestations of the wisdom of discernment are the deities of the Lotus family of magnetizing. The magnetizing deities have the power to bring circumstances under control.
Magnetizing power is the power of charisma, attraction, cooperation, compassion, and loving kindness. Amitabha's magnetizing power attracts auspicious circumstances, knowledge, good fortune, helpful people, students, business, and prosperity. As long as we are motivated by the cause for enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Khenpo Namdro explains.
Magnetizing of Amitabha's Lotus family is that which brings within one's power all that appears and all that exists. It goes by such a name because if you make this prayer fervently, you will be able to magnetize or bring within your power the phenomena of the entire universe. The magnetizing Lotus family of Amitabha brings us fortunate circumstances so that we may help others in this lifetime. Ultimately, when our current life karma ends, we carry on in Sukhavati, where the conditions for practicing Dharma are perfect.
Amitabha Buddha's popularity arises from his 48 great vows made when he was the Bodhisattva Dharmakara. Before he made his vow, Dharmakara was a kind and noble king who, dissatisfied with his ability to help sentient beings as a simple king, attended the teachings of the Buddha of that ancient time, named Lokeshvara Raja. From the longer Sutra of Amitabha, his story is told.
Having superior intelligence, courage, and wisdom, Bhikshu Dharmakara distinguished himself as a seeker of the Dharma. He went to see Lokeshvara Raja Tathagata and reverently praised him. He resolved to become a Buddha who was different from all other Buddhas, as his vows would be so great that they would surpass those made by all previous Buddhas.
Abandoning his kingdom and throne, he chose the life of a Sramana monk and took the name Dharmakara. His deeds as a bodhisattva, known for compassion, surpassed all others. He was a monk of perfect virtue and kindness. Expressing his compassion for all sentient beings, he made 48 vows in front of Buddha Lokeshvaraja that were so profound and perfect that he ultimately became the Buddha Amitabha. From the Great Sutra, it is recorded that he vowed,
I resolve to become a Buddha equal in attainment to you, O Holy King of the Dharma, to save living beings from birth and death, and to lead them all to liberation. I vow that when I have become a Buddha, I shall carry out this promise everywhere, and to all fear-ridden beings shall I give great peace.
After his shining enlightenment, he manifested his Pure Land as the place of great peace he promised. It is the most accessible of all of the Pure Lands. Shakyamuni Buddha explains how easy this is in the Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra.
Shariputra, if there is a good man or good woman who hears the name Amitabha and holds to it, whether for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, or 7 days, single-hearted without confusion. At the time of near death, Amitabha Buddha and all the sages will appear before this person. When the person is at the time of death, if his mind and heart is not deluded, then he will be reborn in Amitabha Buddha's land of ultimate bliss. Shariputra, I see these benefits, therefore I speak of these words. If living beings hear this, they should make the vow to be born in that land.
Amitabha's name helps us know him. His name literally means infinite light. In the same way we think of the sun as the center of our solar system, we think of Amitabha's virtuous light as the undying source of life. Through his great vow, any being can be reborn in his happy Pure Land of Sukhavati.
His other name, Amitayus, translates as infinite life. Infinite life here refers to our eternal and infinite Buddha nature. Every sentient being in samsara, from insect to human to deities, have Buddha nature, the eternal light of our potential to become enlightened Buddhas ourselves. Amitabha's vow is to help us realize our own Buddha nature through rebirth in his perfect Pure Land of Sukhavati.
In the Amitabha Sutra, the shorter Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra, the great teacher Shakyamuni explains Amitabha's great name this way to Shariputra and the other disciples.
Why is that Buddha named Amitabha Shariputra? The light of that Buddha is infinite, illuminating all worlds in the 10 directions without obstacles. Therefore, he is named Amitabha.
His appearance, like his name, similarly helps us relate to him. We visualize the great Lord of Light and Life as peaceful and kind and glowing with vivid red light, like the setting sun of the West. He is, in fact, the Buddha of the West, of the setting sun, all symbols of infinite light and life.
In some traditions, he may appear golden, another color of the sunset, although in most Mahayana, Dhyani, Buddha, and Vajrayana traditions, he is usually red, made of glowing, brilliant light like the most beautiful sunset. He can appear in different poses, seated or standing, but most depictions are of a seated Buddha in monk's garments with his 2 hands, commonly in meditation mudra, with thumbs touching and fingers together. He is seen in Dharma art, with 9 different mudras depending on the focus of meditation. For instance, he can hold his hands in the teaching or exposition mudra. He is sometimes seen with the no fear mudra. He can also appear crowned in his Amitayus aspect as the Buddha of infinite life.
Peacocks symbolize his charismatic power. Peacocks support his throne. They can also be his mount when he is described in mounted form.
The magical peacock are the mortal enemies of nagas and snakes, able to kill even cobras. They can transmute the poison of snakes into amrita or nectar. This symbolizes Amitabha's power to transform the poison of attachment into the nectar of the wisdom of discernment.
Peacock feathers are sacred to Amitabha, and often peacock feathers are used as the sprinkler for the consecrated water or nectar in the blessing vase at ceremonies.
Less commonly, Amitabha may be depicted on a throne of red dragons or with a dragon as a mount.
His entire Padma or lotus family are energetic and magnetic. His glorious wisdom partner or consort is Pandara Vashini, sometimes simply called Pandara. She balances Amitabha's boundless compassion with wisdom.
The great Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, also known as Guan Yin or Chenrezig, is the most famous member of the family and can appear in countless forms. The Bodhisattva of the Padma family can appear as male, female, wrathful, 2-armed, 1,000-armed, and in many other forms of compassion.
Hayagriva is Amitabha's Heruka form, a dynamic Buddha who rescues all beings who call his name. His power is the same, but manifests more energetically, symbolized by his fierce appearance and the horses atop his head.
Tara is Amitabha's most famous daughter or disciple. Tara, whose activity spans all of the Buddha families, always has Amitabha appearing over her head in art to symbolize he is her guru or teacher. It is usually Tara who carries out the activities of compassion in all 6 worlds on behalf of Amitabha. Even in her main role as Green Tara, wisdom consort of Amoghasiddhi, Amitabha is still her spiritual father or guru. As Red Tara of the Padma family, She has many forms, including as Kurukula.
Amitabha's mission is to nurture that eternal life, our Buddha nature. He does this through his activities of magnetizing auspicious karma in our current life. After this life, he continues to teach us in his perfect Pure Land, a place where we can continue to practice the Dharma in peace.
He has many practices in many lineages, but his most famous is the Pure Land practice, which can be as simple as repeatedly calling his praise, Namo Amitabha Buddhaya. Namo Amitabha Buddhaya. Namo Amitabha Buddhaya.
His practice helps remove our suffering in our current life through magnetizing auspiciousness, and after this life, we can dwell in the happy realm until full enlightenment. It is also called the land of ultimate bliss. Shakyamuni Buddha explains why it is called the happy realm in the Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra.
Shariputra, for what reason is that land called ultimate bliss? All living beings in that land have no suffering, but enjoy all bliss. Therefore, it is called ultimate bliss.
The description continues, elaborating on a spectacular paradise of perfection. Later in Buddha's description, he explains that even the soft wind gives rise to mindfulness.
Shariputra, the land of ultimate bliss has 7 tiers of railings, 7 layers of netting, 7 rows of trees, all surrounded by the 4 treasures. Thus, it is named the ultimate bliss. Shariputra, in that Buddha land, when the soft wind blows, the rows of jeweled trees and jeweled nets give rise to delicate and wonderful sounds, like 100,000 kinds of music playing at the same time. Those who hear these sounds will naturally give rise to the heart of being mindful of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Shariputra, the realization of the Buddha land, is thus meritoriously adorned. Sariputra, in that Buddha land, there is heavenly music playing constantly. The ground is made with gold. In the 6 periods of the day and night, Mandarava flowers fall from the sky. In the early mornings, the beings of the land, each with garments filled with wonderful flowers, makes offerings to 100 billion Buddhas in the other worlds.
According to Amitabha's vows, we can all reach this Pure Land with faith and devotion. One important daily practice of Amitabha that brings his magnetizing power into our present samsaric life and helps us achieve his Pure Land is his Dharani from sutras. As a sutra Dharani, they are the word of Buddha and very powerful. They require no permission to practice, as the transmission is from Shakyamuni Buddha. There is a longer and shorter form. We have a beautiful video with the longer Dharani, with our Buddha weekly band singing the Amitabha Dharani, linked above. The longer Dharani is
Namo Ratnatrayaya, Nahma Aryamitabhaya Tathagatayarhate Samyaksam Buddhaya. Tadyatha, Om Amriti Amitodbhave, Amrita Sambhave, Amrita Garbhi, Amrita Siddhi, Amrita Teje, Amrita Vikrante, Amrita Vikranta Gamini, Amrita Gagana, Kirti Kari, Amrita Dun, Dubhishware Sarvart Hasa Dhani, Sarva Karma Kleshak, Shayam Kari Svaha, Aum Brum Hum.
Play the beautiful chant video in Sanskrit, linked above, for a wonderful meditational experience empowering magnetizing benefits. Although it should be chanted in original Sanskrit, it can be helpful to understand the meaning in English.
I prostrate to the three jewels. I prostrate to the noble Amitabha, to the Tathagata, the Arhat, the completely and perfectly awakened one. O immortality, O maker of immortality, O born of immortality, O essence of immortality, O immortality perfecting one, O the brilliance of immortality, O he who goes beyond immortality, O he who goes beyond immortality and whose glory is infinite as the sky. O sound of the drum of immortality, realizing benefit for all. O he who destroys all karmic afflictions. Homage.
When you don't have time for the longer mantra, there is a shorter mantra, which is also a daily practice for most people who practice Amitabha or any Padma deity.
The heart mantra 3 times is Omami Deva Hri, Omami Deva Hri, Omami Deva Hri.
A variant on the heart mantra, here recited 3 times, is
Omamitabha Hri, Omamitabha Hri, Omamitabha Hri.
The sutra also recommends the Namo mantra. This is
Namo Amitabha Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha Buddhaya.
Another important practice of Amitabha is reciting his sutras. Usually, as a daily or weekly practice, we try to recite the entire short Amitabha Sutra, the shorter Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra.
There are many practices and sadhanas for Amitabha, as well as an extensive body of practices focused on Sukhavati, including complex sleep yogas and sadhanas. The short sadhana presented here is a daily practice to draw you closer to the great compassionate Buddha and to develop the common and uncommon siddhis or powers.
You visualize Amitabha in front of you, with the light of his purifying Hri syllable entering and purifying your body.
You can visualize Amitabha in his red form, or even his golden form. As you chant dharanis and mantras, you visualize the activities such as purification or healing or magnetizing fortunate circumstances appearing as red light. This light goes out to all sentient beings, benefiting them. The light then returns to you, empowering you with the merit and blessings.
Sit and meditate, breathing carefully until you are in a restful, meditative state. Then, begin with refuge 3 times.
In Amitabha, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and other perfections, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. In Amitabha, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and other perfections, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. In Amitabha, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and other perfections, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. You are the protectors of all beings, every single one. You are the deities who remorselessly destroy the Maras and their forces. You who know all things just as they are, in their true nature, Enlightened ones with your retinues, come now to this place. I visualize the merit field appearing before me, with Amitabha Buddha at the center, red in color, blazing with glorious life-affirming light. I now perform the 7 limbs of practice, beginning with prostrations. To all the Buddhas, the lions of the human race, in all directions of the universe, through past and present and future, to every single one of you, I bow in homage. Devotion fills my body, speech and mind. Through the power of this prayer, aspiring to good action, all the victorious ones appear, vivid, here before my mind. I imagine multiplying my body as many times as atoms in the universe, each one bowing in prostration to all the Buddhas. In every atom preside as many Buddhas as there are atoms, and around them all their bodhisattva heirs. And so I imagine them filling completely the entire space of reality. Saluting them with an endless ocean of praise, I sing of the Buddha's noble qualities and praise all those who have gone to perfect bliss. To every Buddha, I make visualized offerings of the loveliest flowers, of beautiful garlands, and of music and perfumed ointments, the best of parasols, the brightest lamps, and finest incense. To every Buddha I make offerings, exquisite garments and the most fragrant scents, powdered incense, heaped as high as Mount Meru, arranged in perfect symmetry. Then the vast and unsurpassable offerings inspired by my devotion to all the Buddhas and moved by the power of my faith in good actions. I prostrate and offer to all of you victorious ones. Whatever negative acts I have committed, while driven by desire, hatred, and ignorance, with my body, my speech, and also with my mind before you, I confess and purify each and every one. With a heart full of delight, I rejoice at all the merits of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Pratyeka Buddhas, those in training and the Arhats beyond training, and every living being throughout the entire universe. You who are like beacons of light shining through the worlds, who passed through the stages of enlightenment to attain Buddhahood, freedom from all attachment, I exhort you, all of you protectors, turn the unsurpassable wheel of Dharma. Joining my palms together, I pray to you to not pass into nirvana and remain for aeons as many as the atoms in this world and bring well-being and happiness to all living beings. What little virtue I have gathered through my homage, through offering, confession, and rejoicing, through exhortation and prayer, and all of my practices, I dedicate to the enlightenment of all beings. Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, complete and perfect Buddha, Amitabha, to you I pay homage, in you I take refuge. Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, complete and perfect Buddha, Amitabha, to you I pay homage, in you I take refuge. Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, complete and perfect Buddha, Amitabha, to you I pay homage, in you I take refuge. Glorious glowing red light emits from the syllable Hri at Amitabha's heart and goes out to all sentient beings in the universe, purifying them, then returns to my own heart. I continue to see this purifying and blessing light radiating out to all beings, and then entering my heart as I recite the glorious Dharani. Namo Ratna Trayaya, Nahma Aryamitabhaya Tathagatayarhate Samyak Sam Buddhaya Tadyatha Om Amrite Amitodbhave Amrita Sambhave Amrita Garbhe Amrita Siddhe Amrita Teje Amrita Vikrante Amrita Vikranta Gamini Amrita Gagana Kirti Kari Amrita Dun Dubhi Shware Sarvart Hasa Dani Sarva Karma Kleshak Shayam Kari Swaha Om Brum Hum. Namo Ratnatrayaya. Nahma Aryamita Bhaya Tathagatayarhate Samyaksam Buddhaya. Tadyatha. Om Amrite Amitod Bhave. Amrita Sambhave. Amrita Garbhe. Amrita Siddhe. Amrita Teje. Amrita Vikrante. Amrita Vikranta Gamini. Amrita Gagana. Kirtikari. Amrita Dun. Dubhishware Sarvart Hasadhani. Sarva Karma Kleshak. Shayam Kari Swaha. Om Brum Hum. Namo Ratnatrayaya. Nahma Aryamita Bhaya Tathagatayarhate Samyaksam Buddhaya. Tadyatha. Om Amrite Amitod Bhave. Amrita Sambhave. Amrita Garbhe. Amrita Siddhe. Amrita Teje. Amrita Vikrante. Amrita Vikranta Gamini. Amrita Gagana. Kirtikari. Amrita Dun. Dubhishware Sarvart Hasadhani. Sarva Karma Kleshak. Shayam Kari Swaha. Om Brum Hum. I dedicate the merit of this recitation and practice to the cause for enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
We dedicate the merit of this presentation to the benefit of all beings. Please like and subscribe to help support the Spread the Dharma mission.